ABC.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Helmets and Headbands, part of the 5 Point Podcast Network. Go check out our other shows. We have Log On, which is our gaming and entertainment show, and we have Under the Basket, which is our disc golf show. So pretty much got something for everybody, so if you want to check those out, that'd be awesome. But you're here for sports, we're here for sports. So
Yep.
we're just going to kind of dive into whatever we want because that's kind of our show, and that's how we do it. So I'm just going to open up here with a little bit of the kind of the stuff that's going on with the Bears in the NFL. Obviously, that's our local team, or that's my favorite team, so that's what I'm going to talk about.
Local team.
It's local. I guess you could say that, but there's a lot of transplant Packers fans. Get into that.
We have a good mixture of sports fans.
But yeah, so the Bears getting rid of a few players here for the upcoming offseason just to kind of, give them a little bit of wiggle room. Got rid of our lineman Josh Sitton. I just read a tweet earlier that they're basically getting rid of him just because he's worth a lot of money and he's older in NFL age. He's 31. So they're just kind of getting that money off the books, and they want to go a little bit younger. I think on Kuiper's newest mock draft, they have him taking the offensive lineman out of Notre Dame. Yeah, he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a pretty good offensive lineman. That's who we want. That's who you want. Good. I like hearing that. Yeah. But if he's like a beast, yeah, he just mauls people. Yeah, I like. So
Who's that?
Quentin Nelson out of Notre Dame. So yeah, if he falls to us at pick 8, that would be awesome. Just because, like you said, we're freeing up some space, getting rid of Sitton. Another player. He's hurt, and I saw he's worth $8 million next year, which is a decent amount of money for a guy that you're not chunk. Even. Yeah, and
especially they have. I mean, NFL is a tighter, strict on app than NBA, so
there's just not as much money to go around.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of money
for a guard, but yeah, and then we're also getting rid of Jarrell Freeman, outside linebacker, middle linebacker. He just was. He had he got suspended the year before for PED suspension, 4 games, and then 15 games he lost last year to a torn pectoral on the opening drive of 2017. Oh, and then he got suspended again. So at some point, you just got to kind of be like, all right, man. Like, we're just going to go our separate ways because clearly he's can't get his shit together.
Yeah. But
I could see the
yep.
That's funny to think Mike. Oh, shit. He's gone.
Mike Glennon still makes me smile.
Yeah, special teams guy.
Did you see, how on their jerseys the C and it's got the stars? You know that for every star filled, it's like more higher rank? Because I've seen some guys with the 1 star and then some have
completely like filled out.
And I didn't look into the specifics, but it's like more a higher ranked.
The 1 star.
So he probably had 1 star.
Yeah.
The QB. So do you think Trubisky will be a captain?
He'd have to be, dude. Have to be.
Yeah.
You got it. If you got the guy like that's as high in the draft, like you need to put like he's our guy. So you might as well make him captain and make him start to be a leader and shit,
for sure.
Know? But that's kind of all we have for NFL because there's off season and there's not a whole lot else going on. But now I kind of want to. What happened to Jarvis Landry?
Yeah, he got franchise tagged.
Oh, they tagged him. Oh, shit. Sucks for him. That sucks for him because...
But how can you be upset getting $6 million?
Because those guys are competitors, though, man.
Yeah, I know. You want more,
and
I would be in the same boat of like, hey, I want my money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You get the franchise tag, you're not guaranteed for shit after that.
No, you're guaranteed for that 1 year.
Exactly. But yeah, and I kind of wanted to go into...
Can't they can franchise tag twice? Up to 3 years.
Back to back to back. I feel like that would That would piss the player off, though.
Oh yeah. Well, look at Kirk
holy
Cousins.
shit.
Kirk Cousins just had it happen to him.
Yeah, at some point, you got to be like, come on, guys. Like, do you
I
really
saw
not
the-
trust me?
I saw the Jets were looking to sign Kirk Cousins.
Oh,
and- yeah, like they're gonna offer
Which
something
couldn't-
crazy, like $60 million guaranteed.
I was
or
I was
something.
hearing that
In
they're
the first
they're
year,
offering
something
him like
crazy.
like every dollar 100% guaranteed.
Yeah,
Which is like
which is gonna throw off
crazy.
It's gonna be crazy to see the future contracts after that.
yeah, because that would probably set a standard.
It's gonna be a snowball effect.
yeah, because then other guys are gonna be asking for it. Be like, yo, look what he got. Give me
Kirk
that.
Cousins just got like Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers are almost free
Yeah.
agents. What's that gonna
What
do
the hell
for
are they
them,
gonna go
or-
for? Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really have any. Well, I mean,
No,
once
that was
the
a good
Super
point.
Bowl ends, I kind of
I totally
kinda
forgot
just
about the whole
shut
Kirk
down on it for a
Cousins
little
shit.
bit. Yeah, same here. Combine
Yep.
drafts like 2 months away.
I love the draft. Draft's awesome.
And
Draft
yeah,
is
like you said, Mel Kiper had a draft come out. So if you're interested,
I think
in
it's
looking
his
at his
second
stuff,
mock already, and they're
Yeah.
already like changed. I think McShay has Josh Rosen 2 or 1.
I saw on Dan Levitt's
and then
website today,
and
they
then
were making
Kiper has
fun
him
of it.
has him like 12.
They're
So
like,
it's like
does he just come out with these draft
slow
things
news
on
days?
slow news days?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? And then, oh yeah, they were just joking about how many they're gonna have. And we're like, well, it depends how many slow news days we have.
I think he has like 10, doesn't he?
I remember seeing like a 6 last year or 7, but I don't really pay attention to the mock draft.
But I understand, like, he's trying to build interest, and
Oh, yeah.
he's knows his shit, so it's not like
Yep.
he's just throwing bullshit on
And
a
it's
piece of
not
paper.
like people don't like seeing.
Oh, people
So,
love it.
I mean, it's funny to joke about.
people
but, I
love
mean,
mock
majority of
drafts.
people like seeing it.
Yeah.
Your team's in those top 10 or whatever.
Yeah, and if you write them, I'll see what you think. But it's
Yeah.
fun to see what he thinks could happen.
Sure. Well, if you're ready, I'm down to transition into
In
the
the
NBA
NBA.
and kind of the All-Star
We'll
break.
we'll get to the All-Star, but I just saw one news broke literally 30 minutes ago that Kawhi Leonard appears to be done
Yeah.
for the season.
He said he.
Greg Popovich says I'll
he
I'll be
thinks it's
surprised-
doubtful or something.
I'll be surprised if he returns this season. It was
Yep.
quoted Greg Popovich. That's crazy. That's because you don't usually see.
And Rudy Gay comes back.
I did see Rudy Gay was.
I
coming
tried
back
grabbing
too.
him off free agency, and I realized he was on Zorb's team.
Yeah,
so,
he has been. Yeah, he's been on there for a while.
Yeah, he
but
must have that injured reserve. I have been dealing with most of the time having my injured reserve spot
Filled
filled,
up.
and then somebody else that's out for
Yep.
5 weeks on my
But
bench.
Hey,
so-
that's what it's for, dude. That's what you got to use it for. But Kawhi not
No,
coming
I
back.
still wish our commissioner in football would give us an IR spot. Gosh, I bring it
I-
up every year and I get shot down.
I don't. Yeah,
I know, and I'll hold on
it's
to him too.
strategic too.
In
man.
football, though, I feel like you have enough bench spots that you can stash a player on there, and it doesn't really
Yeah,
affect you.
well,
because
because you can start the same
you know?
player mostly every week.
Yeah, so I
Your
feel like
starters.
in football, you almost really you don't.
You don't need
it.
one. No,
Yeah.
it's not needed. I don't think so.
Basketball makes more sense. You only have 3 people on the bench.
And you got to switch them interchangeably
Yeah.
like a lot. You use all your roster.
I haven't really been paying attention to hockey at all, but are the Blackhawks doing good this year?
No,
No.
we're looking like we're probably not going to make the playoffs. And there's actually what sucks is they're finally like in the news, but it's not for hockey. Apparently, one of the Washington Capitals players got sent to the penalty box, and the stupid dumbass fans that were right on the penalty box were he was a black player, and they were just yelling like racial slurs at him and like flipping him off inside the box. But the people that because they caught it on camera, so like all the people that were like making gestures are banned for life from the United Center.
Man,
Which is like, come on, you're really gonna be like they're on the ice, so they're well off people. They don't do like those seats right on the rink like that
yeah.
for Blackhawks games are
They're
like the
not
cheapest
cheap.
are like $1,200.
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
not
like
cheap. It's like
$900.
sitting courtside at a basketball game.
Yeah, absolutely. That
Field
shit is
side at a football
not
game.
cheap. So yeah, good riddance to those people, but it sucks to see the Blackhawks not having a good season overall,
Yeah,
and then having some shitty like PR like nightmare story
sure.
come out about your favorite team. But
kind of going back to the NBA.
yeah, I wanted to finish my Kawhi take.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But no, the crazy thing about this story, this whole Kawhi injury story that I just find interesting is because you never see controversial stuff and, mismanagement of injuries, or you really don't ever see the Spurs even in like the mainstream media unless it's something positive, like, oh, they're underrated, no one's talking about them, why aren't anyone talking about the Spurs this year? And now the last couple news stories that have come out have been all about this Kawhi injury that everyone's like, what is going on?
Everyone's freaking out, nobody understands it, and
now
there was stuff
might be out
about,
for the season. It's like, why didn't you just sit him the whole season anyway?
Yeah, there was stuff coming out about discomfort between Kawhi and front office, and that kind of got shot down by Popovich, but of course he's going to shoot it down because he doesn't like drama, so why would he draw any more attention?
Right.
But it's funny when somebody like Popovich says, oh, it's nothing, the media just kind of like shuts up. And then kind of like goes
they
away.
They kind of leave him alone, yeah.
And then now this is, I wonder if this is some more controversy.
All I have to say, if this was Steph Curry and the Warriors and the injury was handled like this, it would be an everyday people talking about what's wrong with the Warriors.
Or
why
LeBron.
is the front all? Yeah, exactly. But Kawhi is one of the top 5 players in the NBA, and they were for the Spurs and they play for Pop, so they get the benefit of the doubt, which they've earned. But I just thought it was interesting that never see the Spurs have any sort of negative like influence on the media, and now there's this weird like. But to have Pop even say, like, I'll be surprised to see him. Like, he knows that's gonna rustle the feathers, and everyone's gonna be like, oh shit, what's wrong? So there might be some real tension going on.
Yeah,
there.
Seriously. And sticking with the tension in Texas, we'll say.
Oh yeah, good transition.
Cuban fined $600,000 for his talks about tanking on Dr. J, Julius Irving's podcast. I forget what it was called.
Mavs have not had a good couple of days,
with
dude.
everything with the sexual harassment allegations between their old CEO who left a couple years ago and
a trainer or something.
Yeah, and the trainer, and now this. It's crazy that if they didn't get fined if they got fined like $50,000 for it, like Magic Johnson.
What about the tanking?
With the tanking.
Oh yeah.
It almost
I see
seems
what you mean.
like the NBA fined him so big because it's like, hey, we know you guys are doing this, but you can't promote it like that.
Yeah.
So you got to shut up about this.
But the fact that it is Mark Cuban and their team is clearly one of the worst teams.
Yeah.
And he's almost, I didn't hear the conversation, but I'm just kind of guessing that he talked about it because there had to have been something brought up like, man, like, what are you doing? Like, the Mavs are horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get Dirk is an older player, but he's still not horrible.
He brought it all up in the podcast.
He wanted to talk about it.
He brought it up saying, like, hey, this last year and a half has been really hard for me because he's such a competitor.
Absolutely.
And we need to turn it around. And he was having this conversation with, like, the organization, the Mavs. And coming from all the way at the top, like, hey, I know we've been openly tanking, but this is killing me. We got to kind of start turning it around.
Yeah.
It's just kind of.
Well, I like the draft pick they got in Dennis Smith Jr. He's awesome. The whole Nerlens Noel shit didn't really work out.
It's not working out
That was
well.
super
and
weird.
It feels bad for Nerlens because he just hasn't had a healthy go at it since he basically entered the league.
And why isn't he being like, he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a good
Why
defensive.
Is he not being
he's
used?
a good defensive center, and he has some nice post moves. So he's not a guy you can stick out there and he's just like the lumbering post player that can't play defense, like Jaleel Okafor.
Yep.
Like, I actually like Nerlens. I think Nerlens is a legit NBA player.
If only
but it's just
Jaleel
such
would have
a
been
weird-
born like 25 years ago.
He would have been solid. He just
Well,
doesn't
that's still
let-
too young because he's already like 20. So let's say like 40 years ago.
Yeah, there you go.
He
You had to
would've been
double it.
He would have been born in like in 85 or early 2000s. You had Shaq, and big men were still relevant until
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, and now Jaleel's just deep on a Brooklyn Nets roster. It's like,
Yeah.
what could have been?
On a Garbo Schmarbo Brooklyn Nets roster. I'm sorry, Brooklyn, but your team sucks.
And they're better than they play.
They play better than
most,
what you would
dude.
expect. If you looked at their roster, you'd think they'd win 2 games through the entire year. But
Dude,
if they had Jeremy
Dinwiddie-
Lin, it sucks. He
Dinwiddie,
busted up
Russell,
Yeah.
Damari Carroll, they're not horrible.
They have pieces. They
Rondé
just
Hollis
need to figure
Jefferson.
it all out.
I like Brooklyn's roster better than I like the Mavs roster.
Oh God, yeah.
Like-
yeah, that is true. I'd rather.
You know
take
what I
the
mean?
Brooklyn. I'd rather. Take
Yeah,
Brooklyn's roster.
I think Brooklyn's done a decent job the last few years on not
Well,
of
especially since
picking
they
themselves up from the
completely-
bottom of the barrel.
I was gonna say they flipped the whole organization upside down. They
dude,
sold it a few.
that
Didn't they?
Celtics pick or that Celtics trade was one of the worst trades in NBA
Yeah.
history.
When
Like,
they got Garnett and Paul Pierce,
and they gave away basically their entire
Everything.
future, like for the next 10 years.
for nothing.
They're still those picks are still being utilized by other
Yeah.
teams and being traded. And
yeah,
man, Danny
the
Ainge,
Brooklyn pick in 2025.
off the top, it was like, oh my god, I can't believe you guys are trading these legends. But like Danny Ainge is sitting back playing chess when everyone's
Yeah,
playing
seriously.
checkers. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
That was a he fleeced them. But yeah, the All-Star game. We were gonna do a preview, but we never got to it. So
Nope.
we'll do a reaction.
Yeah.
Let's just go. First, we'll do overall what you thought,
Okay.
and then we'll go individually by events and then the game. So
Cool.
overall, did you like this All-Star
The
weekend in
entire
LA?
All-Star weekend collectively. Yeah, I liked the entire All-Star
like
weekend.
give it a grade because I have a good grade for it. That I feel like it.
I'll give it a B- or a C+.
I was gonna give it a solid B to B plus. I'm right in that
Yeah.
in that area. So let's start with the rising star challenge. I actually didn't get to watch it.
I watched
Did you
most
watch
of
some-
it.
did
I
you?
watched most of it.
That's one of my favorites because I love watching the young players.
You know
and
what?
watching
I'm
them
going to
develop.
go out on a whim here, and I'm going to say I like the Rising Star Challenge more than I like watching the actual All-Star game. Because
Damn, that's bold, especially
those guys,
this
well, okay, I mean, this
year.
year.
In the past,
in
I
the
honestly
past.
agree.
This year,
It was fun.
It was a little more even for me because they actually tried a little bit more in the All-Star game itself. So you could tell there was a little bit more defense and stuff being played,
Yeah.
which made it more enjoyable. But as for my defense on the Rising Star Challenge being more fun and entertaining, it is more like a real game because
Yeah,
those
guys
1
care.
and 2 year players, they don't have as big of a name for themselves as LeBron
Oh,
James
absolutely.
and Steph Curry running around out there. They're still trying to build their reputation,
and
and
build their
All-Star
brand.
Weekend is their weekend to really showcase themselves to the world and try to make a name for themselves off everything, the dunk contest, the 3-point contest, the USA versus Worlds. I like that.
I like that.
It's
I
a
think
cool
it's cool.
concept.
I think it's super interesting.
Um,
If you follow the NBA closely, like really closely, like I knew the whole roster on both sides, and I
knew
love
majority-
watching some of those players, some of those European players that aren't really in the forefront of the NBA, but if you're in NBA circles, you know about like Bojan Bogdanovic balled out in that game.
Yes,
like-
he did. Didn't he win the MVP?
Yeah. I don't think so. I didn't watch it. I think he was at All-Star
I
Weekend.
tuned out about halftime.
I would
Yeah.
assume he probably would have, but no, I love the European or the world versus
Yeah.
USA because USA obviously we have like more players, I guess you could
Yeah.
say, in the pool, but so they use the whole world, bring in all because I remember the year Giannis played in it, but yeah, I agree with you. I like the Rising Stars Challenge.
It's fun, yeah.
But as far as All-Star Saturday night, like it was pretty bad.
and that's the
It was shitty. That's
3-point.
yeah. That's where all like the contests.
Yeah, see, and I didn't pay too much attention to those.
We watched them.
I heard the dunk contest was not that
No.
riveting.
The dunk contest was the best out of the three. So this skills challenge thing is like, it's like why even do it at this point?
Yeah.
It's the commercial. They're constantly going to commercial break after every little tiny thing they do. The whole competition could have been done in 5 minutes. Like all they do is run through 3 little cones, one chest pass, go up, or one chest, then come back and hit, like do a layup and then come back and hit a 3. So it's like there's nothing like fun about it. It needs to be longer. The course needs to be longer. It needs to be harder.
Yeah.
Because then what's the point? You know what I mean? But then the 3-point contest.
It should be like a skills challenge. Should be kind of like you go 1-on-1 against one person, and if
Anything. Like
you
I'm
know,
honestly
I don't
like
know.
anything they do would be better than what they're doing. Do it. And that's not it. Like that's yeah. We were or behind the back or something.
Yeah.
Half court. Yeah. It's the stupidest
Yeah.
drill because then The people that win the drill the majority of the time, all you got to do is hit your first chest pass. Like that's the one.
Yeah.
Then when you come down, you're not going to miss a layup. Seriously, an uncontested layup.
Yeah.
And then an open three. It's like, how much easier are you trying to make this?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like there's a couple of different things they could do to it.
Yeah. And then it was all right. I've never really been too fun. Like I've never really been like, oh, it's All-Star Weekend and get super pumped for it. I'm just kind of
for it. I love it.
I mean, I don't mind it, but I'm more like, okay, here's a break in just the
in the actual games.
Yeah, you know.
And the 3-point contest was funny because a lot of people missed a lot of shots.
Yeah.
There was only a couple. Tobias Harris got hot at the beginning, but then it would fizzle out. And then really like Devin Booker won and Klay Thompson. Other than that, like nobody really had good scores.
And it's weird that you'd think Klay Thompson would have came out with the victory there.
He almost did. And if it wasn't for that last
Devin
round by
Booker
Booker,
scorched.
he was
he
was on fire. Yeah, he set the record. And which is fun to watch, but to have that many skillful shooters, that supposedly they're the best shooters, why would you not? Why would you be in the 3-point contest if you weren't? So like, is it just? Do you think they just come in without even like practicing all that much? Or
I think a lot of it more is also nerves
and
like
shooting that
style,
back to
like
back
shooting
off the rack,
off the rack, and if you miss your first one, you don't have time to kind of maybe correct. You're just going into it and trying to just correct on the fly.
Like
maybe?
in Klay's case, Klay's a catch and shoot guy.
So for him, it's
that's a weird like having to grab it and shoot. But Devin Booker, if Devin Booker wouldn't have done that, people would have been like, that was a horrible 3-point contest. And then the dunk contest following, that's the one that's supposed to make Twitter blow up and like all this crazy shit. And it was just, again, it was pretty blah. And I don't blame the dunks. I blame the format. Like, so there's only 4 guys, and they're relatively no-name guys unless you know the NBA.
Yep.
I thought the cast was awesome. I thought those guys are super
cast was
athletic.
good. It just sucks when they're not hitting the first dunk attempts. That drains a lot of the.
But you have to expect if you want them to try hard dunks, then they're gonna miss.
They're gonna miss them. Yeah.
And they're not professional. Those guys who make a living professiontional dunking.
Like dunks.
But I did hear that some of them were training with professional dunkers, like to get ready for it. But no, I just think the format needs to change.
Yeah.
Again, it's like 4 guys and they get 2 dunks, then the best 2 scores, and then they get 2 dunks. It's like, should we have more athletes or more dunks? Because it was.
I think we should go.
It was short.
Expand the field to maybe 6.
And
or
really
make it a solid 8. You can do 2.
And give a big prize to where the stars will do it.
Yeah.
Because like the stars aren't going to do it in this day and age because they don't want to.
One star do it.
I don't think you can make
one do it. You don't let them choose. You pick who goes for the dunk contest, and you are obligated to do it.
Because they wouldn't want. They would not take it. They would. I could see whoever got picked would just run in and just dunk it, and they would do it as like a protest.
I could see that too. But
just convince some of those guys to do it more, because Donovan Mitchell impressed the hell out of me. Dennis Smith Jr. I thought should have had more dunks. The guy can dunk awesome. Like he would have landed the best dunk of the night. That he had like a 360 between the I don't know what it was, but he would have had the best dunk of the night. He just didn't land it. And I feel like if he would have had another couple dunks,
maybe give him a little trampoline to jump off of.
Dude, I don't hate the idea.
Maybe make it a slam ball type dunk contest.
Do something.
People are doing crazy shit. Then you risk somebody like hitting the board.
Yeah. Jumping off a trampoline.
Yeah, that's true.
But they don't. Realistically, they don't need it, because the Aaron Gordon Zach LaVine dunk contest blew everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Because they were actually. They took it seriously.
They were hitting a lot of the first ones, which is a crazy anomaly.
I mean, those guys are great dunkers. We needed them, but they were both injured. So
true.
I just think the cast, the crew, the guys that get together needs to be a little better. No disrespect to the guys that were in it, and the format needs to change in almost everything on the All-Star Saturday night.
It'd be nice if like ex-NBA, like former NBA players were the judges too, and not celebrities.
I liked that idea.
People with like actual basketball knowledge, or maybe you get reporters and
the whole nines and tens when it's like DJ Khaled has no idea what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
he's just like flashing off his Jumpman jumpsuit that he's got on, and he's like
on Snapchat the whole time.
Yeah, he's given dunks like 8s, and I don't know. I just don't respect the scoring system.
No.
I just think they need to revamp the whole Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
3-point contest is relatively legit. You just shoot.
Yeah, 3-point contest
you just shoot.
is fine.
It just guys weren't making shots.
Yeah.
Was what it boiled down to. And then the All-Star game on Sunday night.
Yep.
I thought it was good.
I thought it was a fun game.
It's a giant upgrade from what it was last year already.
Yeah, it was a big upgrade. You could tell there was actually people making an attempt. It was a cool little comeback there by Team LeBron.
It was.
At the end.
LeBron
He made the go-ahead
LeBron
bucket.
He came out there ready to play.
Yeah.
And I respect the hell out of him for that. To be at his point in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the captain's picking was
And I
was
hope they
great.
televise that.
Oh, they were going
Make
to. Adam
that-
Silver, pretty sure Adam Silver
He
already
said
they were going to
How do you
televise
think
it.
this is kind of moving away from All-Star, but he came out saying he was thinking about revamping the playoffs.
Love the idea.
And I've seen a lot of mixed on it. I still don't know
like
how
the
I feel about it.
progressive.
I could see it being good, but at the same time, I like the conferences and I like the
You keep. I
Eastern
think you
Conference
keep all that
Championship
stuff.
and stuff. But you wouldn't have it. You can't have it that way if
But
the Rockets
realistically,
and
it
the
should be.
Warriors make it into the finals. How is that?
I just like top 16
No.
teams overall
No, yeah, top 16. But then you
because it's not top 16.
Each,
That's what I mean. It's the 8
Yeah.
from each. Is
8
what?
from each.
That's what it is now.
Yeah, top 16.
It
8
needs
or
to.
it would be just. It could be 10 from one and 6 from the
No,
other.
I just mean I think it should be the top 16 overall records in the NBA.
Yeah, that's what
go
I'm
to the
saying.
playoffs.
So then you
because
could have
you're knocking out
12
some of
from
those
the Western
some
side
of those
and
teams
4
that aren't
from-
going to make it in the West would just feast in the East. But
Yeah.
I
Some
do
of them,
like
but the East and the West are more equal now than they were 5 years ago. I mean,
things
the West
level
is,
out.
The
too.
West is still better than the East, but it's not as big as it was.
But I feel like you want to see the best basketball in the playoffs. You want to see the best basketball being played. So if there's a fringe team in the West that is a team that is definitely worthy of a playoff spot, that just West had an up year and they're sitting over there in the East, and you have a team that's just shit, but are just gonna limp their way
Get
in. Don't you want to see the best basketball? But I don't know how to mold the two. I'm not.
Yeah.
Bill Simmons has a crazy thing where he talks about having a tournament at the end of the season for all the teams that don't make the playoffs, and the winners of each tournaments in each East and West, they have the 8th seed, which I thought was just awesome. I think that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
I
like that.
You would take the last week of the season off.
So you would stick with the East and West.
I forgot. He doesn't stick with. Okay, let me rephrase that. So it's the top 14 teams overall that make the playoffs, and then those last 2 spots are going to be played in. It's like an end of the year tournament where all the teams that aren't in the playoffs, they play together.
Teams.
I
think there's
it's
32.
super compliment.
No, there's 30 NBA teams. There's 32 NFL teams.
Yeah.
So the top 14 would, and so the bottom 16
would play
end up
like
playing
a
little
tournament,
single elimination NCAA style.
Do you realize the
tournament
ratings
that would be
on
cool.
that? The ratings on that tournament would be huge. People would be
cool.
betting on it, and teams would like a team like the Lakers, who's kind of hot right now, but they're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they get in this round robin tournament or
They
this
could make
this
it.
bracket style tournament at the
Yeah.
end. The hot team can find their way in.
Yeah.
It'd be a super fun way to root for your team, even
Yeah.
though you're not in the playoffs. If
Yeah.
like the Bulls, like I'd watch
So
all
that
those
way,
games
at least
religiously.
the top 14 best teams are getting in,
And
then
then
the last 2 are
you're
just
going to be
randos.
yeah.
Could make
the best
the
team
next-
that's hot.
The 15th and 16th best teams might make it, but
Yeah.
30th
Yes.
and 24th might make it.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
kinda cool.
I think it's cool as shit because
I like that.
It's a team that's firing on all cylinders at that point in the season. I think it would make for a lot of cool matchups.
And then them having that momentum.
Yeah.
If like the 25th or 26th ranked team in the NBA ended up winning one of those spots, and they had to play the number 1 Houston Rockets or the Warriors, they could have the series could end up being better because they could end up having more motivation going in, feeling good, dude, we just won this tournament. Let's go in. Let's keep going into the playoffs
and have
now.
the tournament have a benefit other than that. I think his benefit was give him the 15th pick in the draft and $5 million of spending money for the organization. Just straight cap money.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting, and he knows a lot more about the NBA than I do. So
and the structure.
I thought, in the structure exactly. But I like the progressive.
Bill Simmons doesn't know more than we know.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, he didn't write a basketball book in the 80s.
He's written some great books.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
But no, I like the progressive. I like the progressive nature that Adam Silver's taking.
Yeah.
He's trying to make the game better. He's trying to make the game more popular.
You see LeBron come out and said he's I know the All-Star game, changing that up's fun, but let's not get carried away with the playoffs or something like that.
Well, he likes it because he's mastered it, dude.
LeBron, you're going to be gone in 4 years, so just who cares? If your last 4 years you're playing a different style of playoffs, does it really matter? You're still going to be one of those top 14 or 16
absolutely.
teams. It's not like you're going to be out of the race.
No,
but that takes his finals away significantly.
Yeah, because it just throws another variable in there. But no, All-Star Weekend's always fun, but I think there's a lot of stuff they need to change. The All-Star game itself was fun. It's always fun, but now it's gotten better because the
loser paying $150,000 to the winner's charity of the choice, and
I just thought the whole the fact that they're not East and West anymore and they're doing a draft it's fun because the guys are having fun doing it, and they're starting to play with other players. Steph is playing against Kevin Durant, and I just thought it made for more competition.
You want to know what I liked about it? My favorite little side thing that was awesome was how back in the 90s and the early 2000s, if you made the All-Star team, you represented by wearing your normal team jersey. So it's just a kind of a clusterfuck out there. A bunch of different jerseys. But I liked how they were all white or all black.
They were so clean.
But everybody had their own logo. It's just it was
neutral colors. I thought it was fantastic.
So LeBron had the C, and Irving had the Boston Celtics logo, and
I thought it was cool.
AD had the Warriors symbol, and you could still tell the teams apart because the majority of the color was white or black. So
I thought that was super unique too. That's a good point. I loved the jerseys.
It was cool because they went back to that kind of older feel, but it still didn't make you feel wait.
It just was East West.
Yeah,
I was never the biggest fans of unless. There was some
years where they were pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember
for the most part,
the starters did a countdown of best All-Star jerseys. There's some dope ones.
They had some cool ones.
One of the Kobe years was super cool. But then they didn't really hit with I think one of the New Orleans ones was
it was Garbo.
Yeah.
But that kind of wraps it up for me.
Yeah.
Be sure to thanks for joining us here on Helmets and Headbands. Be sure to check out our other shows we got going on. We got Log On that just dropped, I think, yesterday or maybe the day before, but that one's new. It's really good. They do a Let's Play segment with it where they're playing, what was that game?
We're playing Shadow of Colossus.
Shadow of Colossus. So check that out.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, Log corrected us. But check that out. We got Under the Basket. Also, our latest episode with Big Germ is on our page. And, just thanks for the love. Share, subscribe.
Thanks, guys.
We'll catch you guys on the flippity flop.
Peace.